Good morning, Collierville. My name is Evan Kirby, and we have some juicy news for you today. Things have been crazy this year, but one thing has been constant: the need for some good food. Around Collierville, many unique burger places can be found, but what is the best in town? Margot Britt and her team seek to answer this question that Collierville citizens are desperate for.
In Collierville, Tennessee, there is a unique array of local businesses and specifically restaurants. Today, we investigate which restaurant's burger shines above the rest. We have set up a blind taste test of burgers from Dyer's, Menzies, and Tony's Trophy Room. Let's see how it went.
Tony's Trophy Room, founded in 2013, is a popular sports bar with famous burgers exclusive to Collierville.
Pretty dry.
Pretty dry. Burger A is dry.
It's pretty dry. The bun is not very good at all. But
Okay.
I'm
Are
not
you
so bad. I good?
Good.
More bun cruncher. And it tastes better. I like this one better than the other one. This one's more of like a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm liking this burger. I think the meat is a little too thick on this, but the bun is good. It's crispy.
Dyer's, founded in 1912, is only available in the Collierville, Memphis area, but are widely known for their burgers.
It's really like sweet. The bun is good, yes.
But sweet.
It's sweet, yes.
Okay.
All right. It's definitely easier to eat than the bigger one. And with taste, it's about the same. So I'll tie this with the big one because there's less stuff in way of eating it. I mean, the taste is subpar, but this is a classic burger. This tastes like the first burger. It tastes better, but it's like a bigger version of the first burger. Just more bread to it.
Okay. I like the meat on this one. I think the meat is probably the best out of all three burgers. The bread is okay.
Mid-Size Dairy Bar, a small restaurant right off the Collierville Square, is a reliable burger place but is more well known for their ice cream.
It's very stale and plain, and the bun is very dry as well. So it's probably the worst out of all three.
I don't taste anything. There's no flavor in the meat. I mean, it tastes like meat, but like they didn't put anything in it.
I don't like this one. It tastes like tofu. Like, it doesn't taste like meat to me. And it's not a very good consistency. The bread is too smushed down. We need a thicker bread. The cheese is not good. It's like old. It seems old. That's about it for this burger. I give it probably a 3 out of 10.
So, who won the challenge?
All right, so what was your favorite burger? A, B, or C?
Burger B was my favorite burger.
The second one, it had really good bread. It was crunchy. I like crunchy bread. The meat was okay. It was great bread.
I think number 1 was the best. The bread was the best out of all three, and the meat was second best out of all three, but the whole combination of the sandwich, the cheese and the bread and the meat, was the best out of all three. Number 1 I would go out of my way to go get.
What we have discovered is that Tony's Trophy Room burgers shine above the rest. Next, we have Dyer's Cafe, and last is Menzies Dairy Bar. However, each of these restaurants and their burgers serve their own unique abilities. If you want a big burger worth your time and your money, go to Tony's Trophy Room. If you want an old classic burger that'll have a great taste, you can go to Dyer's Cafe. And if you want ice cream and an okay burger to go along with that ice cream, go to Menzies Dairy Bar. And that's what we have for you today. Reporting for NewsBeat19, I'm Aiden Youngman.
Who knew that Tony's Trophy Room would prevail? Next time you're in the mood for a good burger, go check out Trophy Room. I know I'll be making a visit soon. Here at Collierville High School, we have a plethora of programs that prepare students for real-world jobs and situations. Some programs offered are STEM, nutrition, nursing, environmental science, and the one Kylan Sharp and her group focused on, Veterinary Science. Let's dive into this unique program.
Here at Collierville High School in the career wing of the building. Today we're going to be going over the Veterinarian Science program. It's a program that's rarely talked about among the school. So let's find out more about this course.
I originally became an agriculture teacher because I took agriculture style classes in high school. It was my favorite class, and it was something I just really enjoyed, and I was active in my club, FFA, and I just knew that this was something I wanted to do when I got older.
Well, the vet science course is, we learn a lot about animals and different identification and things like that. And we have a lot of like hands-on experiences as well. Like we do sutures, we do injections, and we do all this like hands-on things. Like we have a fake cow and a fake dog, and then we have a real rabbit that we also take care of in class. So it's basically hands-on about like common animals.
It takes everything from written work to hands-on experiences, just having fun. It takes everything into account.
My favorite part about the hands-on section is probably when we get to do things on like the fake animals. Like we learned CPR on the dog, which was like kind of really cool because like I have dogs of my own, and I'm like it kind of like put the hands-on experience into like the real life, so like applications like that.
My students love our injections lab. It's actually where we take a banana and then we practice injecting into a banana, and they love it because we use food coloring, and then you can cut the banana in and see if you got an intermuscular injection or something like that, or subcutaneous, or anything, you know, with injections.
So basically we have to break up these little pellets because it's kind of like, they're like wood chip kind of things, but if you break them up it makes it like more fluffy and not like as hard. So it's all her bedding, this is basically her bathroom. And we have to get them wet in order to get like the peeling off the outside and then break them up.
Oh, this whole time I thought this was her food.
Me too. It is not her food. She eats pellets and then she has hay somewhere. Smell that it smells like wood basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she potty trained?
She kind of just does whatever she wants. She's a really moody bunny. Like, she tries to attack the vacuum cleaner and the broom when we clean.
By the way, what's her name?
Her name's Maggie, but we kind of just call her Bunny.
Okay, yeah, obviously our student numbers way down. A lot of our students went CVA this year, and so that took about a quarter to half of our students nearly. And then on top of that, of course, mask, and then also, you know, we've had to space out a lot more this year. And so trying to get our table setting correct in the room has been really difficult because we don't have desks here, we have tables. And trying to keep the 6 feet, it's been really tough. But what we've had to do is make smaller groups and smaller environments for our students to work in.
Besides not being able to like come together as a group and work on something, we've had to space out at tables and stuff, but besides that, it's been close to the same.
This course is like really helpful for like becoming like a vet tech or even like a veterinarian, because you are like learning the basic systems of like all the animals, and it kind of is like a big like introductory course into it.
Veterinary Science, starting next year, we're actually going to have a UT Martin where they can get credit towards their veterinary science degree, but really they learn basic animal anatomy. They learn identification, they learn about suturing, they learn about, you know, blood draws, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of great information that's just kind of compact into the entire class.
Yeah, Sawyer's is not cool. That's my favorite thing about him.
Wow, what a wild class. Thank you, Mr. Sawyers and your 7th period for allowing us to film and being so cooperative. We hope everything goes well in the future. Until then, peace out.
I mean, who wouldn't want to work with animals? They're so cute. What a neat program. Collierville High School might look like a calm and collected place, but when it comes to sports, Collierville Crazies bring the crazy. This club that is open to all students wishing to be a bigger part of Collierville High School spirit. Let's check out what Tristan Hedrick's team has to tell us about the Collierville Crazies.
You want to sponsor the Collierville Crazies?
Well, when I came in, gosh, this is year three years ago, I don't think necessarily there was a sponsor that kind of oversaw the Collierville Crazies. You know, there's a misconception that the Collierville Crazies is like a separate organization. When freshmen come in, they're like, how do I become a part of the Collierville Crazies? And you already are. When you become a Collierville High School student, you are a Collierville Crazy. The idea of Collierville Crazies actually came about by a group of students in my senior class when we graduated, using the terminology like Collierville Crazies with the C's. But really just opportunity to foster student culture and create atmospheres that students remember, because most of the time, like if you ask a student what they remember most about high school, outside of the teachers and the friendships they made and the teachers they had, it's going to be the experiences that they had. So being able to create those atmospheres at ball games and at different events, and providing students an opportunity just to be students and kids, that drew me in the most.
Do you mostly do like ball games and football games and all that?
There's really no set expectations for what I try to do. You know, football has a huge atmosphere here at the school. However, I do think, as we have seen over the course of this year, we try to incorporate every type of event. Two of our leaders this year were involved in theater as well as in choir. So we want to try to have leaders that have multiple purposes across the school, or multiple roles across the school. So, you know, we want a diverse group of leaders, but also we want to promote this idea that we're inclusive to like all aspects. We don't want it to just be geared towards sports. We want fine arts to feel supported. We want, you know, STEM to feel supported, so that every student at the school feels like they have a place. And that's why I think, you know, being called a Collierville Crazy, it's like you're just being like you're a student. Like, it's not some secret organization. I remember the second year I did it, like I had freshmen ask me like, how do I become a Collierville Crazy? And it's like, no, you are a Collierville Crazy because you're a Collierville student. That's just the name of our. The easiest way to say it would be like, it would be the name of our student section. Like if we were to put a name to it or like a title, that is like the student section or the student body.
How do you come about planning events?
Mostly it's all student driven.
Yeah.
We go based on what the students want to see. I just ensure that it is within the lines of what can a school sponsor. You know, there are great ideas, and we have great ideas that are student created, but sometimes due to restrictions or due to limitations, we just can't have those ideas on campus being brought out. You know, we want to foster we want to foster the environment where students are leading and students are creating what they want to see on their own campus. So like when they come up with ideas for different things, it's usually the students. I am simply the middleman to get it approved and to do the paperwork, because the kids can't do the paperwork side or the money side.
Oh, well, so how does COVID affect any of this?
Everything. Really, the fall was kind of shut down in terms of what students could participate in. They tried their best. I will say that my seniors, who were my leaders this year, tried their best to try to adapt to that by going to the football games and having that kind of student environment still, but it's just difficult. When we were limited to attendance and limited to who could go, like we couldn't do basketball games, we couldn't do, you know, indoor sports for a long period of time. So I would say that the SGA as well as the Crazies leaders worked very well together to try to create ideas of events that they could do really in the spring, you know, what we were able to do this spring, but COVID interrupted it minorly in the fall just because of our limitations on how many people we could have at events, how many like kids being separated, and our students adapted to it. They did really well with it, but hopefully next fall, as we go into next fall, we see those limitations and those restrictions kind of pulled back so that students can kind of get back to the normal way of being involved. It's sad to see, like 2 years ago, if you look at football games on our social media, and then last year, there's polar opposite, and that's the world. I mean, that's the entire sporting world. So it'll be good to see students back in the stands compared to on the sidelines, because that's where they kind of were in that kind of off area or whatever.
Yeah, I saw some like color thing. You guys make shooting color.
So 2 years ago, Color Wars worked really well, minus the paint in the stands. It's like an opportunity to create that one moment where you remember it. This year we were able to try to do it with our seniors. It didn't really pick up that well. I mean, there's about 30, 40 of them. But in years to come, it's usually something that students really remember. Again, amazing thing, but look at Crazy Person right now. Stuff like Paint Wars. Like that was always something that students really love, but there's things that you got to think about when it comes to Paint Wars. Like if students bring paint to the stands, they stay in the stands. They went to the bathrooms. There was paint everywhere. So for future planning, we have to think about how can we create that, but also make sure that the school isn't being damaged in any way.
Yeah.
Like, because Mr. Jones was all about it and our school was all about it, but then in the aftermath, it's like, well, we got to do this differently in the years ahead. So next fall, that will be happening. We just have to think about how it's going to happen.
Do you guys like elect leaders, or how's that?
So it is an interview process. The first year that I did it was a little different. Mostly it was led by those who were already leaders that selected, or I will say that the leaders that I had the first year I came in were leaders that I did not have any kind of say in, but they were chosen by previous leaders. We then did it by class vote, and then we did it last year by interview process, and we're going to continue it up with this interview process. They have an application that they fill out. And then based on the application and then based on teacher feedback, as well as those students that are in the interviews, like I try to have my leaders come back and be a part of that. Then we determine best on who's going to represent the school, who best fits the title and the role. We're actually opening up the ambassador role this next year, which is going to be underclassmen. So like leaders who are underclassmen who one day aspire to be the face of the organization can get picked for these positions, and they can start working their way up and creating that name, as well as kind of be a liaison or a person of communication to their class.
Yeah.
So that's new this year that we're doing, and I've got several applications for that. Our interviews are next week. There's quite a few leader applications, so it's going to be difficult this year because we want everybody to have a leadership role, but there are certain students that are truly diehard about it and that want to do it. But just because you're diehard doesn't mean you're necessarily going to do the work behind it. Like it's a 24/7, 180-day school year, and sometimes students get involved in a lot of things in their life. They get overworked. We want to make sure that a student who says, "I want to be a leader," is there all year long.
Wow, our school spirit is like no other. Even with sports being unusual this year, the Crazies have adapted and still know how to have a good time and support our teams. Collierville is so appreciative of them bringing the crazy. Another food attraction in Memphis is donuts. To some, it is a breakfast item, but to others, it is a dessert. Whether you like a plain donut or one with sprinkles, the donut shops around Memphis can cater to you. Let's see what this team found.
Before ranking donuts, it's important to understand exactly how they're made. Donuts are generally comprised of water and a special donut mix. This is then mixed together in a large mixing bowl. The dough is then shaped by a machine into perfect rings that are easy to fry. The next step in creating donuts is frying them. Each side has to be equally fried and flipped over. After the dough is sufficiently fried, it's now time to decorate the donut. Donuts can be either powdered or frosted. When frosting a donut, the donuts are placed face down onto a large tray and set there for the frosting to dry and soak up. Once the frosting is dried, sprinkles can then be applied to the donut.
Collierville has many donut stores, each one offering a variety of flavors and tastes, but only one donut shop can be the best in town. We did a blind taste test in which a donut of the same flavor was taken from every local store and ranked by its flavor.
Our first donut flavor is glazed. We're going to start off with Sam's.
9 out of 10. Come on, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
5 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Continuing with glazed, here's Donut Hut.
I'm thinking like a 4, maybe? No?
7 out of 10. That one's okay.
Lastly, we have Jody's Donuts.
See, this one's a little bit better, so probably like a 7.
That's the best one. And 9 out of 10. Out of the 3, that one's the worst.
Our overall winner for glazed was Sam's Donuts. Our next flavor is powdered. Once again, we're going to start with Sam's.
So. Well, 5 maybe? Yeah.
That one's really good. That one's really good.
On to the next with powdered, we have Donut Hut.
6 out of 10.
I don't like that one. 5 out of 10.
Lastly, for powdered, we have Jody's Donuts.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, that one's okay.
It's still pretty good though.
Our overall winner for powdered was Sam's once again. Our last flavor is cinnamon. Once again, we're starting with Sam's.
More like a 5 out of 10.
I really like that one.
Next for cinnamon, we have Donut Hut.
Probably like a 8 out of 10.
That's good. Average.
Lastly for cinnamon, we have Jody's.
I had 3 out of 10. So yeah.
The middle one's the best one. 4 out of 10.
In a change of events, Donut Hut has won for cinnamon.
Wow, and the winner was Sam's Donut.
So, I make every day morning the fresh donuts. So, let me follow it. You're reading the 3 o'clock every morning. We always try to make the world's best handmade donut from fresh ingredients.
While Sam's Donuts were ranked the best, it is always important to remember that taste is subjective and the others may like donut shops more.
Wow, those looked incredible. Don't you guys want some donuts now? I sure want one. Even though this year has been unlike any other with COVID restrictions, donuts have continued to be a main attraction in Memphis and on. On that hungry note, I'm Evan Kirby with NewsBeat19. Thank you for tuning in.